You are not ready for this, ladies and gents. A strange chain that connects BlackRock to Ripple's XRP was just made public. BlackRock, which is the world's biggest company, is very interested in XRP. This could be the best sign ever for the bulls. With their own work, they can drive up the price of XRP to levels that don't seem possible. In fact, Ripple's CEO has said that the value of one XRP coin could reach $121,590. That's pretty cool, right? You should not miss this video. Let's jump right in. Nota bene. BlackRock is no longer taking a back seat, and people who own XRP have no idea what's going to happen next. There was a lot of talk about that one tweet from Alex Jones, but there was a lot more after that than just online hype. In the XRP group, more people spoke up. Board Seagull Club said BlackRock has joined the XRP game as requested, while Ripple Pundit said BlackRock is buying XRP. At first listen, these sound like tweets that will get people's attention, but when put next to an idea that is becoming more popular in the crypto world, they may be much more important than most people think. Stellar News, also known as Stellar Rippler, wrote a detailed thread in which it is said that Ripple and BlackRock may be working behind the scenes to create a global banking system based on tokens. His theory says that the XRP ledger Aladdin, BlackRock's powerful asset management system, tokenized US Treasuries, and the growing number of digital identity solutions aren't just different things that are happening, they're meant to be linked. BlackRock isn't just buying XRP for fun. Ripple and BlackRock could be working on different plans at the same time, but calling them something different. Ondo Finance is an important piece of this puzzle. It is a company that uses XRP ledger technology to tokenize US Treasuries. Stellar Rippler says that Ondo has ties to BlackRock that most people don't know about. A co-founder of the company is said to have worked at Goldman Sachs, which is an interesting fact when you think about how many top leaders at BlackRock have worked there. Gary Gensler, who is now the head of the SEC, used to work at Goldman. There's more to this agreement than meets the eye. It points to a shared network of power, which could explain why Ripple has survived and even grown in the face of regulatory threats. That brings us to the SEC's lawsuit against Ripple, which may be the most interesting part of the idea. What if it wasn't just a war on rules, but a test that was carefully planned? Stellar Rippler thinks that the case was a kind of initiation, a way to test Ripple before letting it play a key role in the new global financial architecture. This is a brave point of view that fits with how power works in global banking a lot of the time. There are strict rules about who can sit at the table with the big players. What this means is shocking. BlackRock may have helped Ripple build the infrastructure of tomorrow's financial system in the background. If this is true, then XRP is more than just another cryptocurrency. It's a key part of a future where tokenized assets can easily move between countries, controlled not by governments but by code and global institutions. The biggest asset manager in the world, BlackRock, doesn't do things just to get attention. It moves when the infrastructure is ready, rules are clear, and markets can be taken over gently. In this way, it changed its mind about Bitcoin ETFs without warning, and it may do the same thing with XRP. After a period of quiet build-up, institutional scale rollout takes place. We might not have all the facts yet. BlackRock and Ripple aren't linked in a news release, but there are too many signs that fit together, too many coincidences, and too many moves that aren't being made that this can be ignored. If Stellar Rippler is even half right, we are seeing the start of something very big. It's possible that both the price and the idea of XRP are too low. They may be ahead of a curve that most people don't even see yet if they hold on to it now and pay attention. This is where things get crazy. Some experts aren't just saying that XRP could go up, they're saying that it will go up so much that it could change the whole crypto market. We're talking about numbers that seem crazy until you find out who made them. If you listen to these statements, you'll understand why I think XRP is the most undervalued asset in the game right now. Wait a minute, this is going to blow your mind. That's why XRP was worth the risk. Right now, that simple tweet from Subjective Views seems more like a prediction than a view. People used to laugh at, question and write off XRP as a long shot, but now if you're paying attention, things are quickly changing. The XRP community is feeling more and more rushed, and for good reason. If you look through crypto Twitter, you'll see how excited people are. Steph is sure that in the next 3 to 4 weeks people will become XRP riches. King XRP goes even further. Based on a shocking story, Forbes has set a price of $60,000 per XRP. This is likely to happen. The next thing that happened was much worse than those numbers, no matter how crazy they sound. There was an amazing forecast made by Jake Claver, CEO of Digital Ascension Group, on the Good Morning Crypto Show. Claver says that by early 2026, XRP could reach $1,500 to $2,000. It's not a mistake. He makes a bullish case based on macroeconomic uncertainty, clear regulations, and the fact that global finance is becoming more and more tokenized. That's his case. No matter the country, XRP is the only real option for a neutral, scalable bridge exchange that can move trillions of dollars between them. Take that in, it would take a gain of over 43,000% for XRP to reach $1,500. A move to $2,000. 100% plus. And those aren't just price expectations, they also mean market values of around $90 to $120 trillion. That would mean that XRP is worth more than the whole M2 money supply and more than the world gold market. There are of course a lot of doubters. Some people say that these prices aren't realistic and that no object could ever reach such high levels. But Claver isn't the only one who sees XRP as more than just another cryptocurrency. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, is said to think that XRP's market cap could reach more than Bitcoin's. He predicts that XRP will be worth $121,590 each, which sounds impossible until you think about what Ripple is really building. Most interesting is how these statements match up with the bigger changes we're seeing in markets around the world. Governments are rushing to make their money digital. The inefficiencies of traditional settlement are becoming clear to financial firms. And big companies like BlackRock are quietly getting involved with the technology that could power it all. And if XRP is used as the main currency for this new system, the amounts we're hearing, $60,000, $121,000, or even $2,000, might not be so crazy after all. Even though things aren't clear yet and the market never goes in a straight line, it's getting harder to ignore what's going on. XRP has always been the bad guy in crypto. It looks like it will be the foundation of a financial change now. Worth the risk might not be the right word to describe that if it comes true. Now let's talk about Ripple's relationships, as this is where things really heat up. It's not just small fintech companies that are starting up. Big banks, global payment networks, and organizations with close ties to world governments are all on the list. You should pay attention to this because there is something interesting going on. The bullish signal will really surprise you once you know who Ripple is working with behind the scenes. It's really amazing how quickly the story about digital goods is changing. Most of all when it comes to XRP. A few years ago, a lot of people laughed at stablecoins and the idea that blockchain could be used in traditional banking, but as John Squire said so well, they laughed at stablecoins. Now trillions are being asked for by the US Treasury, who is ready to get bigger. XRP was ready from the start. That sentence says it all about where XRP stands right now, a digital product that is ready to be used by many people around the world. The fact that XRP works with MasterCard, a major player in global payments, is one of the strongest signs that it is becoming more popular. After the Genius Act was signed into law, which is a major regulatory framework that gives people trust in dollar-backed stablecoins, MasterCard made its relationship with Ripple official. It's a big deal that this support. Only institutions licensed by the federal government or controlled by the state can issue stablecoins. According to the Genius Act, basically it makes it clear who is following the rules and who is playing in the wild west of crypto. It gives standard financial firms and blockchain companies a legal base on which they can work together without worrying about regulatory issues. The fact that MasterCard called this a new era of clarity and confidence in digital assets shows how seriously the big payment company takes this change. They are not just messing around. They're actively looking into how stablecoins can make payment systems better, getting ready for a time when digital currencies and regular money will work together without any problems. This is very important because clear rules about regulations are needed for more people to use XRP. It shows that more and more people believe Ripple's technology and the XRP ledger as a foundation for safe, scalable, and instant cross-border payments when companies like MasterCard work with Ripple. Going deeper, crypto researcher Smoke pointed out a presentation slide that shows Ripple with other major blockchain players in MasterCard's